So hey, what was the workout? We're live. What was the workout I saw you doing with the muscle ups for the
Uh,
circuit?
it's the final Fittest of the Coast qualifier workout, and it was 12-minute time cap, 3 rounds of 50 dubs, 15 pull-ups, immediately into 2 rounds of 75 dubs, 15 chest to bar,
Mm,
immediately into 1 round of 150 dubs, 15 bar muscle ups.
yeah. How do you think you did?
I'm gonna redo it on Monday, but I did pretty well. I mean, I went unbroken on the whole thing. So I'm hoping to shave.
That's great. Unbroken on the double unders too.
No, the dubs I would have
Okay.
like 1 or 2 trips, but
Yeah.
unintentionally. But the pull-ups, bar muscle-ups,
So,
all unbroken.
so where do you look to shave on that? Like, is it
Just transitioning, just like
transition? Yeah.
not being a bitch and not grabbing the chalk when I really shouldn't grab the chalk. Shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. The chalk's great for me. I love the chalk because it gives me an opportunity to look like I'm not winded. Oh, I'm just grabbing chalk. I need the chalk.
Exactly.
For me, it's a necessity. Um, That's cool, man. How many other is that the last one or how many are there?
This is the last one, yeah, and it's do or die. It's like so I got fourth in last week's workout, so it skyrocketed me up the leaderboard. So I'm like
What are you at?
I'm in a I don't remember exactly, but
Okay.
like I'm like 40 something, like 40th. And I
Uh-huh.
think they take like 60 athletes in the RX division
Sweet.
and they take top 16 for pro. So it's like a little bit of a long shot still for pro,
Oh,
but I mean it's in reach for me.
yeah.
So if I
Are you
get
doing it
another
regardless? Are you doing it either way or only if
yeah,
okay.
because it's they kind of built it similar to how like Wadapalooza does it, where like day
Yeah.
one is the teams and then day two is like, well, sorry, Wadapalooza does like what, 2 days of teams and then 2 days of indie. They kind of do Fittest of the Coast does something similar where it's a day and a half of teams and then a day and a half of individuals. So my girlfriend and I are also competing in the co-ed
Yep.
partner division, and right now we're sitting in
Sick.
a pro spot.
So wait, you have to do I'm sorry, I missed the part about how does the qualifying for the teams work?
It makes it easy because it's the same workout regardless.
Got it.
So you can do both. So like you obviously you have to register for both divisions. So
Yep.
I had to drop $20 for Indy and then
Another.
another $20 for half of the team registration.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy. So right now I'm comfortably in an RX spot. I'm most likely going to qualify. And then we're like a spot in the pro. So we're like trying to stay into the pro team division. So it'll be
That's
fun.
awesome. That'd be great. Yeah, no, I was following
Philip Kelly, we're talking about Fittest of the Coast, not
yeah, there's a lot of
Wadapalooza.
qualifiers.
There's a lot right
Like my friend so Ty Jenkins, who comes on the podcast sometime, he's doing Wadapalooza. He was at 40th after last week. I know he was getting healthy off some things and he'd like literally just flown in from Germany. There's always an excuse, right? But he legitimately probably wasn't at his peak, and but no one is, I guess. And so he has to get into the top 20. I think he's at 40th. So
This
I
is a young
think
kid, right?
yeah. If he gets the top 20, I'm 50-50, but I definitely want to go.
Wait, is he doing the same qualifier?
It's the Wadapalooza one.
Oh, Wadapalooza, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know anything about
is
that.
he still teen or is he upgraded?
No, he's he's in the regular division. He was
Is he
in
in a
50.
qualifying spot?
No, he's
Okay. I was
he
gonna
has
say it.
he's in
I
40th and he has to get to 20th. He through last week was 3 workouts. This week I think is 3 workouts.
No, it's 2.
Is it
Technically
2? Okay.
last week was 2, but one of them was a 2-parter. So it's a 2 is 2 workouts, but it was a 3 parts, 3 scores. If that makes sense.
Hey Jake, why don't you come do some burpees and some wall walks with us, and then you'll see why we're so little.
It's true. But
I
that's
can't think of
impressive.
anything else.
So he's trying to get into the RX.
Yeah, he only wants to do it to do the the elite, I think it's called, right?
Oh, and he won't go.
Yeah, he
Sorry, I don't mean to be
probably
mean.
won't. No,
He
for sure,
won't. He won't.
dude. But check this out, and it is worldwide, so that makes sense. But before he got knocked out for the box steps, he was at I think 14th in quarterfinals. So he would have been in semifinals. So
yeah, and like here's the thing: when it comes to Wadapalooza, because of its popularity and the fact that it's not broken up into like regions like the Open is,
yep,
you
exactly.
have like
It's harder.
only X amount of allocated spots that like twice the amount of people are trying to qualify for. So like I was looking at the leaderboard and like Guillermo's, the Brazilian stud, for
Yeah.
example, is like barely in an RX spot. He's not even in
Oh,
like
I didn't know you had to qualify.
Yeah, I mean he didn't. I assume he didn't get an invite. I saw his name on the leaderboard.
What up, Dense Updates? I forget your real name.
I think her name is Jenny. I think.
Okay, she can tell us.
What's
Okay, so shoot. So then it's harder to qualify for WZA than it is for semifinals, essentially, depending on what depending on what region you're in. I
I
guess.
wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. It's just different. It's just different. Like
Well,
in terms of
there's 40 for semis.
yeah, but I mean like it's still fucking really hard to qualify for
Yeah.
that. But like Wadapalooza is just different. And in terms of like all of the just off-season competitions, it is 100% the most difficult to qualify for, probably.
Is that true? That's not true. Jesus backward is sausage. That doesn't even make sense. Okay, let's do this.
Oh yeah, it does because sushej, right?
Oh yeah.
If you say it
Look
that
at
way,
that.
sushej. See, Jake, I got your back.
Sausage. Yeah, she'll be here soon, Jake. Just hang in there.
Hello, Jonathan Adele. September 4th, 2024, I put up a video about you. You had left a comment and then it was gone. The thing that I remember specifically about that comment is that you said something along the lines of, thank you for making this entire video on me, blah, 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 blah. And you didn't address the title or the thumbnail or the entirety of the video at all. That video was an natty or not. That video, I broke down how you went from a 32, 33-year-old, whatever natural looking dude to a 40-year-old looking god. Dwayne the God Rock Johnson Jonathan Adele. It doesn't matter! In there, I said that I thought that I'd never been more certain that somebody was using performance-enhancing drugs. There's a comment in there about how your worldwide ranking improved 580% from 2023 to 2024. Like,
so I hadn't seen that before. That's very interesting. And you know what's interesting too is I don't know if maybe he kicked it into high gear because of the roids, or he was able to do more. Obviously, you can do more because of the roids, but you don't move up that much. Now, look, the guy's a fraud. I'm not trying to give anything to him. I'm simply saying I couldn't. Let's take where I'm at right now. I'm not talking about games, but a 500% increase or whatever it said, I would not improve that much if I took what he was taking. So he still did something crazy because he went from, when he's about to go over his scores, he went from that to just smoking everyone in his age division. And to me, what I'm wondering is steroids
were there less
aren't
signups?
that, I don't know, dude, but it's like even a lot of the stuff that he's taking, like he looks big, right? It's just weird because now he did get popped for Carterine or Endurabol, whatever you want to call it, which does help with CrossFit. But
was GW one of the ones that he got popped for?
I believe so. He'll say it, and they don't list everything.
Carter.
But there's some things that don't, like I'm pretty sure that trend they say like will kill your cardio. You just get freaking statued out on it.
Hey, I didn't know this about Masters, but you can have an exempt like
okay
thing, so you can like take TRT. Like, is there something?
So look,
I thought I heard that somewhere.
He said something about this. Maybe somebody in the comments can pull it up if you can find it fast enough. But I've looked at this because I did TRT and I was trying to figure out. And honestly, I'm just going to be honest. I don't really care that much. Like if I get back on TRT, will I do the Open? I don't know. I'll do it. I don't know if I'll sign up. I know I won't go to quarterfinals. That wouldn't be right.
Look at you being keeping the integrity up.
I mean, it doesn't, I don't want to take a quarterfinal spot from, well, actually at this point, I wouldn't take a
Dude, stop it. Like who gives a fuck? Just do quarterfinals. It's even if there's no such thing as like, I don't want to take a spot away because they don't fucking backfill. Just do it.
Hey, if you have time, Roman, you should come on. So this guy's,
was he the dude that popped in on Hiller's show?
Yeah, and Hiller, and he wasn't there yesterday because
that was such a good show.
Hiller asked for him again yesterday, and he wasn't there. But yeah, if you want to come in, you can. But if you want to just chill, do that too, Roman. Yeah, I need to know about they rarely allow. Okay, I thought they didn't at all.
Jan's comments.
Yeah. All right, I'll send him a link. Let's keep this going, and I'll send him a link because he likes.
This is exciting.
Roman, I love talking about steroids.
I love that.
It was so great, dude. Like, I just love talking about this stuff. All right, let's do this. Actually, you know what? You just talk to all the comments real quick, and I'll get a link for them.
Grant is a cheater. Yep. Fucking cheater.
I mean, it really is the most. I do think it's less important. The higher the level you're at, the more serious it is. Invite. Okay. Sending it
Yeah,
over
therapeutic
now.
use exemption. That's crazy. Why not just let
Yeah.
everyone take TRT?
I didn't know you. The way I read it, I thought it read that you will never be allowed to. They'll never allow for TRT. I thought they added that in there. I could be wrong because I read this thing like when I was on TRT. I also don't know what the rule is technically. Like how long do you have to be off steroids to do it? You have to be clean, but like, what if you did it 3 months ago? What if you did it a year ago?
I think it's just about beating the system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as like being allowed to do it, if somebody decide to be on the straight and the narrow and they're like, I haven't done it in a year, technically under the rule book, would that matter?
You told some guy named Ed to take Anavar?
I did not say that. You were on the show. I said that I got prescribed it once and it didn't help my CrossFit at all. I might have done the 2022 Open around the same time that those things occurred, around the time. Now, listen, you know what I got on 22.1? I got, remember the dumbbell box steps and the wall walks? It was 3 wall walks, 12 dumbbell snatches, and 15 box jump overs. It was the first workout in 22.1. Good athletes got above 300. I think 90% was probably 250 to 270. Anyway, point is,
I was blanking. I'm like, why can't I remember that
yeah,
workout? No, wasn't it like it was like 3 wall walks and 5 or 6 dumbbell snatches and then the box
I've done it
jump?
like 10 times. Trust me. It was 12. It added up to 30 because 10 rounds was 300. So it was 15. It was 12 and 15 for the box jumps. Did you
Okay,
get over 300?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Okay. You
Dude,
probably did.
I'm getting so old, and my girlfriend made fun of me for this yesterday because we got on the subject of doing masters comps, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna be a masters next year. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
getting so old now that these open workouts are just merging together, and I don't remember what I get and what. It's crazy.
Jan is exactly right about this. So, like when I was taking that stuff, I didn't have to pay them. So TRT clinics, like online clinics during COVID, would just anything they were allowed to write, they would. My doctor was actually a really good doctor, but he was also shady at the same time. So, like, he would look at your blood work. He would make sure that everything was safe. And here's the point. The point of all this is during that time, I didn't work hard. I was terrible. I was like 18th percentile in 22.1. I got 100 reps or something. It didn't help that at all. My deadlift was 550. That was the time nope, that might have been afterwards, actually. Point being, when I went down to a regular TRT dose, I became better at CrossFit. My lift stayed the same. So, like, I didn't do anything on those steroids and it didn't help me. And I don't know how this guy is so freaking huge and is suddenly just destroying everybody in one of the younger divisions. It's 40 to 45, right? All right.
Crazy.
I'll
Is there
go
a
off
lot of
for
money
reason.
if you win the masters in your age group?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like somebody in the chat could say, but I think it's between 1 and 5,000. I feel like it's like $2,000 if you win, maybe 20.
So do you think it's like an ego thing why these guys choose to take performance enhancing drugs? Because it's like when people get popped in like the regular CrossFit division, I can kind of understand because there's like money involved and sponsors and shit. But like, is there any of that shit in masters?
It's all ego. I'll tell you in 1 second. There's not. No. So Augustus, I know for a fact I was 530-pound deadlift when I was on my low dose of TRT. I don't know what I do off of it because I haven't gone back up to a max lift. Maybe 500, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. All right. No, so Jason Grubb is one of the only ones who has paid sponsorships. It was a big deal when he got paid sponsorships. I'm sure people have got it since then. Dude, imagine if he popped. Like if that was if the barbell spin got that, the whole world would freaking blow up.
That'd be funny.
All right, let's do this.
Dabble says, thanks for the vid, Hiller. As a Masters athlete who competes in local comps in this guy's area, the second he walks away from a conversation, everybody rolls their eyes and says he's on juice. That's kind of going to be the sentiment that I want you to leave this thing with. Nice enough guy, but what kind of example is he setting? These aren't easy to find. I don't know why. Even if you Google it, you aren't able to find it. But the drug test update 2024 Masters CrossFit Games, October 24th, 2024, so that is yesterday. The following athlete has received a sanction after being found in violation of the CrossFit Games drug testing policy. Jonathan Adele, the first place finisher in the Masters 40 to 44-year-old division of the 2024 CrossFit Games, provided a sample at the competition that contained an astrosol, exogenous steroids, and metabolites of GW1516.
Okay. So in that,
GW1516.
see, this is, yeah, there it is. That's the shirt. And the weird part here is like, he'll talk about it, so we'll get into that. But exogenous steroids, like the only thing that makes me wonder when they're not specific is that it was like really bad. Like that it's like a list and we're not going to list it all off. Like he was on Tren, D-Ball, Winnie, Anavar, like something freaking crazy.
Yeah, so they use that term exogenous when they just are like, hey, there's just so much fucking shit, we can't list it.
No, exogenous, just like when you say exogenous testosterone, for instance. So the most common explanation here, exogenous testosterone would mean your body wasn't producing it. It came from the outside. Or I think it might even apply to HGH, because we have growth hormone, exogenous HGH. So they're either saying that he had outside steroids and they're not telling us what it was, or they're simply saying it's another way of saying testosterone, HGH. I don't know.
Have you ever taken HGH?
No.
Dude, that shit's so scary.
What up, dude? You look like you're in the Matrix, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Why'd you? Good, man. Good to have you. Why? Where were you when Hiller was asking for you for the live stream? I was disappointed.
I was actually filming a podcast. But I was recording it, so I turned off, my phone and stuff, and then we're finishing up, and me and Sam, the guy in the podcast, we were chatting after, and I looked down at my phone, and it was like 45 minutes ago. Hiller sent me a text. I was like, "Oh no, I messed it up."
Hey,
so,
that would have been great. That was so funny when you did that because you were like everybody. I think we saw your name, and like it's not a common name. It's like Roman Burkan, and you were like, send me link now, and like you show up and you're just this normal dude.
The comment, everyone in the comments were hyping me up. That's what got me.
That's awesome. All right, so hey, did you see the Hiller video yet or no?
I haven't seen it, no, but I mean, I've
perfect.
I've kept up with a lot of the posts.
Yeah, so look at this. First off, do you know the TRT rules by chance? We were talking about that in the chat. Like the way I read it, you can't do TRT, or do you know if they do some exemptions?
I've never seen that. I put in there in the chat that I've seen people get inhalers denied that, have asthma and asthma medications. So, and those were OPEX athletes. So maybe there was some hate, or some shade thrown their way. I doubt it, but I think
I remember that. Isn't it because inhalers, they have something in it that, I don't know.
Yeah. Most inhalers are albuterol. So like when I was a kid, I had asthma. So I would take like the puff, inhaler, like I would have one, and that has like an acute effect, and it could help. It definitely could help, but it's not gonna like make or break you. And if you took that too much, it would hurt you. But there's like albuterol pills that have like a much larger and longer lasting effect that act a little differently, and those are banned.
You said it's clenbuterol?
Yeah.
No, albuterol, but acting similar. It's like a similar family. But.
Yeah, so I have albuterol. I'm pretty sure one time I tried to like puff it 10 times before a WOD to see if it did anything. It didn't.
It can. We used to do that in swimming. Like we would pass around, right before a race, everyone would take like a few hits of it, and it'll help like open you up a little bit. But I mean, if you don't really have an issue with that, it's kind of like turning on a light switch that's already on. Like it's very like the percent increase is very little, and you're probably not that good enough to see an effect. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know much. This is the one I don't know much about. What is the deal with Halo? Isn't it supposed to be like trend? Okay.
It's now, like,
oh no, not for a comp. I agree. Totally wrong. It's like trend, isn't it? Like it's going to kill your cardio. Do you know?
I don't know. I know it's like I think it got really famous because Mike Tyson took it. And a lot of
really?
famous
Shoot.
fighters in that era because it is like it makes you hyper aggressive. So a lot of them would take it, right before the fight and just
Yeah.
it would jack them up a little bit. And so
Yeah.
I think it's like something more neurological. I know people are also taking it, before training to really try and push their limits, probably in a like a powerlifting
Interesting.
or like a strength sport. But I mean, I think most of these drugs are probably going to hinder most people.
That's crazy. I've never heard of Halo.
I mean, pretty much.
Halo
I feel
tested.
like
Besides
I feel
the
like
game.
anything. I don't think there's a anabolic that would hurt
Master
your
Chief.
strength if you were just training for strength. I don't think there's an anabolic out there that would hurt your strength. I can't think of one, but I do think there are ones that would hurt your cardio.
Oh yeah.
All right.
This is okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my girlfriend. This is why I look so focused because I'm trying to avoid Jake's fucking comments because he's killing me.
I don't have the
Oh,
comments
yeah.
up, so I only see when
Yeah.
y'all pull them up. I'm
Perfect.
tempted.
All right. Here's what we got. So we got he got GW, so Carterine,
Yep.
and anastrozole, so he's got the aromatase inhibitor, and then they just say exogenous steroids. So it either means a crap ton of stuff and we're not telling you, or it means outside testosterone, I guess. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, or they don't know. They just know there's
Yeah.
a metabolite. But if you're taking
Oh,
an
good point.
anastrozole that you just came off of, or you are taking it at the same time. Like that's why it's so easy for a female to take drugs, is because they don't have to take an anastrozole or something like that which a male would, because those are in your system much longer. Like
Okay.
Hiller said,
Wait.
I know in a video recently he said a lot of
Oh.
men could take testosterone at an appropriate dose, because testing is so expensive. When they test you, they're really just looking at your numbers first. So if they test Pool Boy and his testosterone, let's just say his units are 680, and then they're like, well, that's in range and that's pretty good, like he's probably fine. But then they test him again, a year later, and he's at 1100, then they're like, that's a little sus. So then they would probably pay for a little extra testing to test. All right, let's test for metabolites now. That's why I think a lot of people probably get away with it, is they're probably staying in a pretty good range. And they don't want to keep pouring finances into every single drug test.
Hey man, I'm just eating a lot more steak. That's all.
These masters guys, they can do whatever they want and essentially go back to their TRT dose as long as it keeps them in range and they're not like a super responder, and basically get away with it, because you don't have the same negative effects if you were coming off of everything as if you go back to TRT. Your testosterone levels aren't jacked up, so you just stop a month before, and that's crazy. So all these masters guys, really a lot of them could be on TRT and doing other stuff before that.
Isn't like growth hormone, for example, something you can only test for if you have a baseline first? Otherwise, you can never measure the increase
I don't know
necessarily.
Yeah, I know that pretty much you have to blood test for it, and they've even kind of removed that from the NFL post COVID because it was costing so much. And I have a few friends that are playing in the league, and they're like, we never get tested for that anymore, where it used to be more regular, because it's so expensive and it's so hard to find. So they're probably just almost doing away with it. And that really, I mean, it's going to have, I would say it has performance enhancing effects, but not to the degree of what, like, you're not taking HGH and, PRing your mile all of a sudden, or PRing your snatch. It's not something like that, but you can take it with other drugs like insulin and, steroids to help you grow a lot. But again, you don't really want that in CrossFit. You don't want to see extra mass.
Insulin's shit.
Yeah, that's when you start getting into the you're. I hope you know what you're doing.
You're
all right.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. You could mess some stuff up.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Adele did not appeal. And distinction starts September 1st, 2024. He didn't appeal. Now, a couple of things to note here. Anastrozole is an estrogen modulator. If you're somebody who is using exogenous testosterone, sometimes if you're on it via a doctor, the way that I am with California hormones, they might give you anastrozole. That is, if you get your blood work done and they see that along with the testosterone rising, your estrogen has also risen. Also, it's something that is used when people are coming off of testosterone, because your testosterone will go away, your estrogen will remain high, and that's how you get boobies. And generally, dudes don't want.
When I got off, I was prescribed TRT. I did, it was Clomid. I didn't have but my estrogen never really went up. So
that's good.
boobies. And it's just interesting that it writes exogenous steroids. That's awfully vague. Hey, he's got some exogenous steroids. I'm going to assume that it's meaning testosterone, exogenous testosterone, but it could be Tren, Dianabol, Anavar. Could be Winstrol, Equipoise. What is it? Why aren't they saying what it is? And it also says it's got metabolites of GW1516, which remember, that's not the correct freaking name. It's GW505156. And now I think I'm even saying it wrong. GW501516. I want to go through a couple of the things that I said in my original video because this is an
All right, who in the chat has done Carterine? Let us know, and we'll pull up your comment and let CrossFit know that you've done Carterine. I have done Carterine. I didn't feel anything. Ortega says you have to do a post cycle always. That is, I mean, you don't have to, but you'll probably feel like trash, right? I'm assuming.
To my understanding, the way that Carterine works is it changes the mitochondria of your cell, right, to convert fat into energy.
I don't actually know much about Carterine. I thought it was longer term endurance, like 20 minutes versus 6 minutes. Do you know much about it, Roman?
I know it helps increase your ability to use fat as a fuel source. So that would help, lower levels of endurance, like, long moderate pacing. But I think it has some other effects too, like that it's more like downstream that would help you like with breathing and, if you could, and I think, they call it like exercise in a bottle. And I think that's what a lot of the testing was done for, was for people who, are sick and can't exercise as much and, have heart issues and diabetes. So I know it'll also improve insulin resistance, which is, that would be something for a diabetic. But that
wasn't it originally developed as almost like kind of like how Ozempic is today? Like,
it's like a super similar drug.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that it could be safer depending on how many side effects and issues are coming up with GLP-1s, like, Ozempic and Wegovy and all those. But the cancer research, that's really scaring a lot of people off. A company dropped it for a reason, because, if they could make millions of dollars, billions of dollars on it, they probably would. Or there's a high possibility that it's super easy to make on your own. So they're not going to keep researching it, because then they know other people will start making it super cheap and, they won't be able to make money.
Yeah, the rats all got cancer and died. They were faster, though.
Yeah, what doesn't make sense to me, though, is like CrossFitters are pretty like high glycemic in terms of their like carb intake. So wouldn't that make Carterine not work as effectively because your body continuously just keeps going to those glycogen sources?
So no, it would still help, because since we're eating since people who are doing CrossFit and trying to compete and are eating a lot of carbs, even if it's not 800 grams of carbs a day, you're probably still eating more than the average person, or more than you should if you were not competing. And that would help reduce insulin resistance. So that could help. That way it would help. And if you're doing a lot of easy, lower effort work, like if you're doing, 40-minute runs, or if you're doing longer rowing sessions where you're not like really pushing the pace as much, so you could think it as something like a lot of off-season base building, trying to improve volume, it could help a lot there.
Interesting. Hey, what's how expensive? It depends where you get it, but I mean, it's fairly expensive, but like not. I mean, like probably like $50 for a month supply, so nothing crazy. Well, hey, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, or is he talking about?
Helps.
Maybe that's Carterine.
Auto correct.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Curdine,
Maybe we'll just start calling it that. I'd take Carterine, dude. I'd take Curdine.
All right.
Interesting situation where I don't think that it's ever happened in the CrossFit space where someone has called their shot. That dude's on steroids. Boom, he pops. Call me the Babe Ruth. And then really, here's the thing. I got the Batman persona. I made the furry video. Remember the furries? Dude, I'm learning so much. Yeah. They got their fursonas. I got my persona. They think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows. I don't know how this dude can continue on. How he can leave a comment in my comment section, think that he's going to get away with it scot-free, fair well knowing that he gave a piss sample at the game. He's doing the fittest of the coast qualifier right now. He won the freaking qualifier. He leaves a comment in my comment section and completely disregards the fact that he's...
Wait, so when did he win? Oh,
I don't know. I'm
so
looking that up now.
I guess maybe did the Masters already go?
No, the competition is happening right now. Like I literally just finished the last workout today.
Yeah, but
so
if
maybe
he won
and won an event, or he's in first and he thought,
or he's in first, dude, he's like the most brazen person ever. Oh, I
checked. He follows me on Instagram. When I tried to look him up, but he's private now. I don't know if he was before or not.
Yeah, he was private. I tried to follow him to see if he said anything about it.
Dang.
The only thing I was thinking is like, if you were single, I get it, but like, I think he has kids. I don't know, maybe And if you do, like, what do you tell your kid you won, you're the fittest 40 to 45-year-old in the world, and then
He
Daddy
is. He
Daddy
just
cheated?
he used drugs to do it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Shoot, I
Edel
don't
is the
even-
last name, right?
Yeah,
EDEL.
Jonathan Adele, EDAL, I think.
Oh.
I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that
quali-
stinks. Yeah.
I don't know what qualifier Hiller's.
I think
referring to.
cultures are just different. He might not think anything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's denying it still and acting like he didn't do it, but maybe he just doesn't care and it's
Oh,
like
wow.
whatever to him.
That's crazy to me. See, that's the one thing that I could see myself doing something shady at some point in my younger times. But I can't imagine having to tell my kids that or setting that example of cheating. It's just not worth it. Dang, that's crazy. All right, let's keep going.
Been caught. Remember, I made a video. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're caught. But he pissed. He knew. He's taking this stuff. He didn't even appeal. I'm hiding in the shadows over here. Everyone knows about Jonathan Adele, and you're doing the fittest of the coast qualifier.
Hey, Fittest of the Coast. This is Jonathan Adele. Blackout Crossfit.
He's like 90.
You're doing the fittest of the coast. I think that's the freaking competition. I don't know what competition, but you're in first place, acting like none of this has ever happened. And in the meanwhile, you got the monkey on your back. That is me. I'm the monkey. The freaking bat monkey riding on your back. The whole world's looking at you, and you got family members or something, members of the gym that you go to, just changing your weights. How can you possibly be so shameless? What are the creatures from that movie Big Mouth? It's like they got the shame wizard. The shame wizard. The shame. Do you have no shame? That goes for anybody out there taking performance-enhancing drugs. How can you just go on knowing that you're cheating everybody, and especially when you're in this kind of situation where everybody knows? Don't you just get anxiety-ridden doing clean and jerks? Are you that much of a freaking psychopath? So which path is it? Psycho, socio, narcissist? Which one are you? To just think that you can go on about life juiced out of your freaking mind, cheating like a son of a gun. Anyway, I want to play some of these things.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm wondering if
pretty
they
bad.
I'm wondering if they removed his name from the leaderboard because I don't see it at all.
Oh,
and those
that's got to
are-
be it.
Those are the workouts that I remember doing.
Because I mean, I'm
Hiller's,
sure.
He's cooked up on this one, dude.
Oh yeah, this is classic, and this guy is really. I'm trying to think who the freak is worse that he's done in the past. This guy might be the worst.
I don't know. I feel like if someone else tests like in the regular age group, I don't know if he'd get this.
Oh
either.
yeah.
Maybe this guy he just had some beef with before or something.
Yeah, if Pinheiro, the girl, gets popped, that'll be big. She'll be the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Jonathan
that's-
Adele, you are.
Oh, I messed it up.
Hey, what's worse, athletes who get popped or athletes who loop their videos?
athletes who loop their videos.
I
'Cause
agree.
At least if you pop, you did the work. Like
Yep.
at least you suffered the pain of it.
True.
Agreed. Yep. I'm
I
all
don't
for
know.
it.
Those
Man,
of
I
you
could
who
be
don't know what he
convinced
used to look
otherwise.
I think Lupin.
Like or didn't see that video. Here he is. So he's nothing to scoff at, right? 2 years older. He's probably like 35, 36. He looks great for 30.
Wait, where the heck was that?
Jonathan The shame. Do you have no shame? That goes for anybody out there taking performance-enhancing drugs. How can you just go on knowing that you're cheating everybody, and especially when you're in this kind of situation where everybody knows? Don't you just get anxiety-ridden doing clean and jerks? Are you that much of a freaking psychopath? So which path is it? Psycho, socio, narcissist? Which one are you? To just think that you can go on about life juiced out of your freaking mind, cheating like a son of a gun. Anyway, I want to play some of these things. Jonathan Adele, you are not natural. Good luck on your drug test.
Good luck with your layoffs, all right?
That is if they actually go forward with it, telling everybody the results. They did, and that's cool. Good luck on your layoffs. I hope your firings go really well for you. That still applies. Hope your firing goes really well for you. At least now you got the monkey off your back. You know, the bat monkey, that's me. For those of you who don't know what he used to look like or didn't see that video, here he is. So he's nothing to scoff at, right? 2 years older, he's probably like 35, 36. He looks great for 35, 36, but he looks absolutely nothing like the man you'll see at the freaking CrossFit Games this freaking year. I give you the most certain that I have ever been that somebody is using performance-enhancing drugs in the CrossFit space that I have ever been right here. I should start playing some freaking Terminator music. It's like, dun, 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 dun. Look at this human being. It's not even the same freaking sort of thing. Where are you built from? There it is, about as certain as I've ever been. Goes from looking like a pretty fit dude to the freaking Terminator. He almost walked away with the entire freaking thing, with the exception of the standard, which I have no idea what went wrong on the standard, but when I go to his, I think it was quarterfinal workout.
2024 Andrew.
That's wild.
Well, I would think that the shoulder stuff your shoulders tend to get blown up. I don't know if it has something to do with have you heard about your androgen receptors with the traps and the shoulders?
Yeah,
Yeah.
males have more in the traps and the shoulders.
Yeah. So that's why it's like, it doesn't mean you're on steroids, but they will get big fast.
And everyone's different too.
That's true. But I mean, if you look at
Yeah,
his
all
body,
my all my androgen receptors are in my penis.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. If you look at his body, though, I mean, I wouldn't expect him to be good at ring muscle ups, but the other stuff should be totally fine. It is weird. Where were we? The standard. So yeah, we're going to talk about why he shouldn't even be in. Oh, this is good. What does this say? at a local comp he won, he got pissed about mystery wad having handstand walks since his partner couldn't do them. So the gym eventually gathered around his teammate while he sat pissed about it. That's awesome. More stories.
What a good dude.
And your girlfriend wants you to stop. She says,
Stop what?
babe.
Was it my
Be-
penis comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what would have been cooler is if, like, in that moment during the handstand walks, he would have went up to her and went, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You will walk on your hands.
Yeah, you.
More muscle, way more abs, so less fat, ton more muscle, and he was already in good shape. It doesn't happen to that extent. It's impossible without roids.
Quarterfinals. Workout number 3.
You can see what his muscle ups look like, and he doesn't lock out a single one. So in all reality, the dude shouldn't even be at the CrossFit Games. Remember yesterday I made the video on Element? Rob
Yeah.
Wolf is in response to somebody on Twitter saying the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. It's like, oh, I know that you've never been perfect before. It's like a backhand slap to the face. Now this dude can't do a muscle up. You can see he probably shouldn't even been at the CrossFit Games, let alone win the CrossFit Games, just via his movement quality. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Freaking psychopaths. He almost beats Will Moorhead, who's like a 50 times Games qualifier and is 35 years old in the age division. But
That's just nuts to me looking at his body type. He's older and he's way like bulky. He doesn't look like a CrossFitter. He looks like a freaking power lifter.
Mm.
So what? 6'6"? Okay, this is for the is this the open?
Quarterfinals, I think.
Okay, got it.
I think.
Yeah, it looks like it because that wouldn't make sense for 24.1. They'd be worse than me. All right, let's keep going.
below it. The next closest dude in his division is a minute and 20 seconds behind him. And this is a dude who, when you go to the guy's athlete profile, he's in his first CrossFit Games, was in his first semifinal, had never come a stone's throw away from even getting out of the quarterfinals, with his best finish being 143rd. And then this year, eviscerates everybody. Now, that was in relation to one event, because the masters of the 35 to 39 and the 40 to 44-year-old age group had a similar event. And this dude, who is in his first ever CrossFit Games, comes out of nowhere, beats Will Moorhead, almost beats Will Moorhead, and destroys everybody else in his division. It's like there's just freaking red flags everywhere. You know what it must have been? I know what it must have been. In 2020, you put up a post, looks like it says your wife is legitimately enjoying the Thunder Bro program. I wonder if his wife was in on it. And that would be the crazy thing, because I played the
It does make you wonder when someone's so brazen and like, how does that conversation go? But I almost tend to think that like his wife would know.
Actually, has to. It's way too much gear to.
Maybe he just tells her he's on TRT and that everybody's on TRT and the Masters. It's not a big deal. I bet that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that would be super easy to rationalize.
Yeah.
clips earlier where he's doing the qualifier. I don't know if that's his wife who's helping him change out the weights on that clean and jerk style workout. How many people around him is he just cool with knowing this? Like, hey guys, I'm going to test positive any day now. Let's just ride this thing out and see what happens. I wonder how many layers there are to it, because he's not willing to say anything about YouTube comment section. And I wonder if he's in his closer circle, a layer deeper, telling everybody what's going on. Or if he's just like, no guys, I'm clean. That Hiller guy is a freaking idiot. And then something like this happens and he doesn't even appeal. Post a 525-pound back squat at the young age of 39 years old. 525 back squat. In that original video, I got a handful of his squats where he was in his early 30s doing something like mid to upper 300s on the back squat. So he put on over 100 pounds into his 40s. It's like, duh, no way, that's impossible. Somehow show up to the warm-up area 10 minutes before the event. I'm Jonathan Adele, and I'm going to come in here for my first year of the CrossFit Games show.
Do you guys remember what that was? So he literally didn't warm up. Was that for the? I remember that.
That was the
I
thing.
didn't watch.
That's freaking crazy. Yeah, I think I remember this. He like basically just went out and did it and won or something. I don't know if I have that right, but that's just it's hard for me to fathom this unless he was on so many steroids that he was like a different creature, because usually steroids cannot improve you this much. Roman, you know people who've done steroids, right? Like, have you seen them?
I mean, when did he start? Like, how long was he on? You know, there could be, I don't know. But
I mean, year to year, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know in one comment that Hiller posted, he said he did conjugate, he did powerlifting and bodybuilding. Perhaps like he, at one time before CrossFit was really strong, did CrossFit, lost a lot of strength, and then got really strong again. I don't know.
Okay, so no warm up and second. That's a good point. Yeah, that could be it. Well, I'm glad you're here because we've lost.
Jeez, who squatted more than 525 at the event?
Oh, that's right. Holy crap. That's right. No warm up in the second event. Freak, dude.
Dude, that reminds me of like the last event at NorCal. Freaking, I don't know what Elijah Muhammad did, but he like forgot or something and just ran out there without any shoes.
On the
Nope.
last one?
Yeah, he didn't warm up or anything. I guess he like lost track
Brutal.
of time or something, so he just ran out there, no shoes on, putting his shoes on. It was funny.
How did he do?
I don't know.
Okay.
He did it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
impressive enough.
True that. That was a tough workout. All right, let's do this. Who's the rotating third? Oh, this is Roman. How do I say your last name, by the way?
Burkhan.
Yeah, I just met him on Reddit, and I was like, "Hey, dude, my podcast is kind of small. You want to come on?" And we did some steroids together, and here we are.
Yeah,
10
dude.
minutes before.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wait,
There
did you
was
guys really meet on Reddit?
No, he was there. This was the Hiller Live. You remember?
Yeah, I just wasn't.
Oh, no.
No, if you were serious. or not.
I friend requested him after that and just said hello. And then I had, when I started doing the Hiller and review, I had mentioned something to him about coming on at some point. Since I know he's a Hiller connoisseur as well. But yeah, no. So he did Best Friends for Life. That's right. He did. Hiller had a live where he was talking about steroids, and it's pretty awesome. But like Roman was like, you need to send me a link.
He was asking questions about it, and I was just answering them. And then he was
Yeah, and he's like,
"Oh, I
just
guess
send me
this
a
guy
link."
Knows.
Yeah, just send me a link, and nobody knew like what was going to show up. It like looked like a foreign name, like Roman
No
Burkhoff.
profile.
Yeah, and then he shows up, and he's completely normal. It was great.
I don't know
So,
if that's right, but
well, pretty much close. And then
normal enough.
and then Hiller went live the other day, I guess spur of the moment, and asked for Roman again. And I was really hoping he was going to come on because it was super fun last time. But he was on another podcast doing his. You were filming your own, right? Or
Yeah.
your training videos? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
My warm up and then destroy everybody on the front squat. You didn't even warm up your front squat. You just walked out there and in your 5 minutes, just like, oh, 420, this is good. Took second place on that event. That's a sentiment that I'd gotten from a couple of people. This guy doesn't even warm up. First year of the CrossFit Games. You wouldn't freaking believe it. He just shows up 5 minutes before the competition goes on, doesn't warm up, and he just walks out on the floor and wipes his butt with everybody. The reason I make videos like this is because other people in your division are upset. They're very upset. Everybody's looking up and they're like, we know you look different. We know we all beat you in the quarters and semifinals. What's going on? That original video, I talked about Joe and Bob. Like, it's a culture.
So they beat him in the quarters and semis. That's interesting. That makes me wonder if he really ramped up. I mean, you don't even have that much time to have that much of a difference, right? Unless you're just literally on it and you figure you're not going to get tested. Like you got 2 months, I think.
I mean, you could definitely look a lot different in 2 months. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I mean, you could, I guess, perform better in 2 months. I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
Strength you could improve, but I mean, the biggest thing in his strength was already probably high that I wouldn't imagine you can change the engine that much, you know?
No, definitely not. Like,
And
you
dude,
can't
420,
make
what?
up miles.
That dude can't only squat 420. That guy's huge.
Is that
But
what he
maybe
said?
it was-
Did I miss something?
He said 420, I think. Hey, somebody in the chat, tell me if he said 420 or find out what his.
So he's saying he went from 420 to 520.
I thought he said 420, good for second, but that can't be right because people in 40 to 45, I would imagine, squat more than that still.
Yeah, but maybe it was like it looked like a local comp, right? Or was it like
This
a real
was no, this was for the games.
Oh.
The Masters games.
one? Oh, that's nuts.
So yeah, they probably.
That's pretty messed up too, because like you're putting a target on your back by doing that. So like, why not just warm up and try and barely win it out?
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty suspicious.
Everything about this guy, like he's just brazen.
Hey, what age group is this guy?
40 to 45, but they might have took him down.
40 to 44, you mean? No, here he is, Jonathan Adele.
Oh,
What
yes.
year is this? I'm looking at the leaderboard, 2024. This is the
Yeah,
age
that
group.
too.
The age group quarterfinal. He finished third.
Wow. I mean, it's a pretty good division. Like, it's a lot of former games athletes bleeding into there now.
Did the Masters have a semifinal, like an age group online semifinal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. AGOQ.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So that was the quarterfinal. Let's see what he did in the semifinal.
So Hiller's just talking about the few guys that beat him. Now suddenly he's just destroying them, I guess, because it was only 2 guys in quarterfinals.
How many
wonder
did they take from each age to the games? 20?
I think it was I think it was
This
40.
year, I think
Was it 20? Maybe it
No.
was 20.
Yeah, because in previous years it was 10 when CrossFit was handling it, and
Yeah.
it bumped up. It's 20 or 30.
Yeah, he finished
Yeah.
he finished 15th. So he went from 15th in the age group semi to winning it. It's crazy.
To just
I wonder what
destroying
what the age group semis, maybe they required a little more skill and pacing and
Yeah, I remember them.
rather than at the
They
games.
had I remember them. They were fun. The age group semis were really Actually, I'm getting them mixed up with something. Okay, so hey, just real quick, what did it say his score 2 was for the games? If you put them
for the games.
yeah, for the age group games, whatever you freaking call it. Masters, Legends, I don't freaking know.
We can call it the Masters games.
Yeah, Masters games.
I'm guessing I can't find it on the CrossFit games, or I guess I can.
I just want to know what his squat was on that second event that he didn't warm up on.
Was that event 9? Yeah, it was 420. Hiller
Okay.
said it in the video.
Yeah, it's just I just thought it'd be higher. What was the
Dude,
one?
that didn't even win though. So he got second.
That's what I'm saying. He got second. He won.
First was 455.
Wow. See, but that may have been just because he didn't warm up, walked in and did it and thought whatever. Because that guy's legs are huge. I would have thought he'd be able to do 450, but he crushed everybody and everything else. So it was the 9th event. So then he was already crushing at that point. Maybe that's why he went that route.
That's crazy.
This guy's a joke. He's like,
well, dude. Check this out. I don't know what any of the events were, but for Jonathan Adele, event 1 first, event 2 first, event 3 6th, event 4 6th, event 5 first, event 6 third, and then here's the outlier because I'm very curious to see what event 7 is. 37th.
Huh,
it won't let me scroll over, but if you hit that little info icon above it, it says the workout. I'm on the Masters website though.
I'm just looking at the leaderboard.
I'm on competition corner on the leaderboard.
And then he got first in every other event after that.
Which event was it?
Event 7. It's like the outlier. He got 37th, and then event 8 first, event 9 second, event 10 second. I can only see the first 4 workouts, but they match what you just said. First.
Barbell spin here is event 7. It's that's what he was talking about earlier. It's the standard. It's 30 clean and jerk. Yeah. 30 ring muscle ups, 30 snatches.
Yeah, I mean that makes more sense. You got to be able to like basically hold a I don't want to say a super high, but a pretty high amount of power for a long period of time, be super efficient, be able to do the ring, perform.
Yeah, you got to be able to move well. And he does not look like he moves well.
Yeah, the tighter you are, it's going to be way harder.
Just watching his rings
smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just watching his rings, the 30 rings being all in a row, you might be able to get away with it in events where you've got maybe like 5 ring muscle ups per round or something. The 30 in a row, we talk about the shoulders and things like that. I'm imagining that's where he was super slow. I'll have to go look afterwards because now I'm curious, but he had to have just got stuck in those 30 ring muscle ups because he didn't even look good. Or maybe he got no rep because he was no repping during the quarter or semifinals. So
yeah, maybe just find no rep.
Yep.
Problem. And like the fact that somebody got this information and felt that they needed to suck up to some, half rate podcast host.
I suppose that it's only going to be fair that you call Taylor a half-rate podcaster when I'm about to call you a third-rate, a quarter-rate, a 20% rate competition organizer. I talked about how crappy the programming was at the Masters event because I talked to a lot of the Masters. They thought that it was way too short and they thought that they were pissed off that freaking Jonathan Adele was even there in the first place. Those are the major things you could take away from that video. We fixed one of them. I've been chucking rocks at Joe and Bob for a little while now. I chuck rocks for the people who don't have voices loud enough to chuck rocks. For people who don't want to have their names mixed into the thing because they don't want to be looked at by Joe and Bob and be mistreated. I am the rock chucker for the people. People's rock chucker. Chuck rocks at Jonathan Adele so people know about it. Because without something like this, without somebody like me saying stuff like this for everybody to see and hear, everybody would be thinking, wow, maybe CrossFit can do that to a 40-year-old. But it cannot. It does not. It especially...
I want to talk about that in a second, but dude, you got to be stupid why would you pick Taylor to pick on? Like, he's loud, he's quick-witted.
Yeah.
He's just not. Yeah, he's just, and he's visible. He's just not the person you want to pick on or have as an enemy. There's, like, even with Chris Ibarra, and I like Chris Ibarra. I thought Chris Ibarra was best suited. Did you by chance catch crash Crucible.
Mhm.
So I thought Chris was best suited, and I even had texted Chris. I said, Chris, you got if you win an event, you gotta stare him down or do something. Like they were even saying it on the Saban podcast for entertainment's sake. You got to respond. I love that he went over there and watched him deadlift and said, "Let's go." That was great. And then it kind of got killed when he went on, and I mean, I thought it was, but then he went on
Yeah.
and tried to.
I think
go
it was
back
like
and
right
forth.
on riding the line. If I felt like if someone would do that to me, I'd be pretty pissed off. It'd be hard to hold back.
Yeah, you're right. Because one is after an event and the other is while you're still doing it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I didn't like that.
Okay, so here's my point. Going over and maybe just sitting there after the event and waiting for him to look at you and then walking away would be awesome. His mistake, I think, was going on the mic with Taylor because he's like 23. He's not really as good at trash talking as Taylor is. And that's
Yeah.
the point. Like, don't pick a fight like that. That's just stupid.
I thought it
Joe
ended
and Bob,
well,
you're
and
dumb.
it seemed like they were both respectful towards the end. You know, because
Yeah.
while you were watching it, you thought this could go either way.
Yeah, I agree.
This
I
photo,
hope,
by the way, this is the most damning thing right here. Look
oh
at
my
these
gosh,
two.
right? Like
Yeah,
he looks like a normal, like that is still like we got to remember outside of in the normal world, that is very in shape for a 35-year-old, right? This is,
yeah.
know, maybe there's
that's a 1%er.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, correct. And but I mean, just look at how like it's the same shape, but he's starting to get a little bit of sag. Like there's some flab, like it's normal. And then in this one, dude, the guy's abs are popping out. They're more visible. Look at the freaking traps and the
I don't
shoulder
think you have
tab.
to say anything. Yeah,
It's just
like,
yeah,
just
you're right.
look. But those traps
just-
are nuts. Like even that's some good genetics. Seeing the like how well the shoulders like
Yeah.
Ball like have the bulb, have the Death Star, and then the trap comes down, dude.
He might have been. I would guess he wasn't at his genetic potential. He might have been working hard, but if he was doing what some of these guys are doing, he probably could have got a little bit bigger. Judging by how huge he got on roids, dude. Like not everybody.
And I mean,
gets
just
that
the
big.
style of training he's doing. He's probably not even doing. He's not working hard enough to really grow. Like if he's doing bodybuilding, like trying to grow the mass, and he's doing so much CrossFit, there's no way. But I mean, obviously he sucks at ring muscle ups, so maybe he was doing a little too much bodybuilding.
Oh, he might have small legs. You can't
100%
tell here. Yeah, okay. At least disproportionate for sure.
Small
and they look
calves,
like that.
receding hairline, all that DHT just
Well,
pumping in
his
system.
calves look at his legs in this other one, but his calves got bigger after the roids.
Yeah, I think they probably just definitely look more disproportionate, and he's just a little leaner in general.
Yep, makes sense. All right, and I want to talk about this part here.
He does not take your freaking squat up 100 pounds as you're approaching your 40s. Honestly, what is it, microcosm? It's a small subset of the 40-year-old. But it cannot. It does not. It especially does not take your freaking squat up 100 pounds as you're approaching.
Yeah, so he's just talking about CrossFit and basically advertising it properly, right? That's correct. Like if you start CrossFit at 35 or 40 years old and you've just been lifting at a regular gym, doing your standard bench, dead squat, and you're not really into it, you're doing it a half hour, 4 nights a week, like most people, you will get in better shape with CrossFit. Your endurance, your intensity, you can even get stronger doing CrossFit. But that right there is not going to happen. Not even close.
No.
You'll be healthier.
Your 40s. Honestly, what is it, microcosm? It's a small subset of the reason I make these sorts of videos. It really kind of goes all the way back to like the early 2000s, where you go to the grocery store, you pick up a magazine, it's like, these are the supplements that Phil Heath takes. You look at Phil Heath and you're like, wow, maybe I really do need all of this beef protein. That's how I'm going to look like Kai Green. I'm going to eat beef protein. I'm going to look like this. There are people out there thinking if you do CrossFit, then you are going to end up looking like your favorite CrossFit person. And for some people, that's going to be possible because you're already a genetic superior freak. But then there's going to be people in Jonathan Adele's circle who probably are pretty stupid. But no, CrossFit will not make you that much stronger into your 40s. It will not. Tanner Shuck looking down is like, ha, I told you so. It's like, no, we were never claiming to be able to put on freaking 50 pounds of muscle mass from the ages of 32 to 40. You are increasing your work capacity. You are becoming fitter. A 32-year-old who increases their work capacity by the time they're 40 might even lose a little bit of muscle. Maybe.
What did he say there? 30. Oh, might lose a little bit of muscle by switching to CrossFit, essentially, right? If you went from just lifting heavy and you're in your 30s and you switch to CrossFit and kind of do a standard CrossFit protocol, you wouldn't spend as much time building muscle.
I think,
yeah,
a lot of variation, like a lot of factors that could change that. I think some people could, some people won't. But yeah, I mean, in general, if you were working hard and working out and trying to grow muscle, and then you came and did CrossFit, and it wasn't like a strength bias across the program, maybe just like a true .com style training, you might lose a little
Yeah.
since I
Yeah.
think it just depends.
Nothing crazy. But if the zombie apocalypse happens, you will definitely survive more so than if you just lift at your local Globo gym. That is for sure.
This is just a good time of year where everyone's testing positive. Doesn't seem like anyone popped at the games. Masters event took place after the games. Wouldn't we be hearing some of this stuff, right? August, September. We should be hearing a little bit. For everyone else out there taking performance-enhancing drugs, I will be making a video on you. There is a monkey on your back, the shame wizard's in the corner, and I'm hiding in the shadows. That's out of and really out.
I really hope that he just starts making more natty or knots, but it's hard to find the ones that are obvious, right?
Yeah. Hopefully he's watching right now, and there's a study basically that I want to show him, but it shows how supplements, common supplements, across the world, international supplements had a higher percentage of tainted supplements, like tainted substances in them than what people thought. It was like almost 50% had something that not a banned substance, but had something that wasn't on the ingredient list, and it was like up to 30%. I won't say the number, but it was an alarming amount.
Damn.
Actually had substances that were banned.
Are you going by like brand or like specific supplements?
So in the I gotta find it. It was a
so I can find it and take it.
It was a study that it took major brands. So they took common brands that were sold worldwide, stuff like that. I can't remember, but I remember seeing some of them and naming them, being like, okay, I've heard of this.
Now, were they like different supplements across the board, or like did you see like a tremendous amount in like creatine specific?
Yeah, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I mean, that's a good question. I should have.
I'd be curious too. If
hey,
they
what
have
are your thoughts
go ahead.
on HMB? Do you ever take HMB?
No, I mean, I remember when was it Blonix came out? They were
Mhm.
like, they had the HMB and the creatine. I know it's like there's a lot of studies showing that it does good stuff, and it's similar to creatine. There's very little side effects and issues, but I think maybe it was overhyped. But I think it can help people in like, I can't remember. I think there's like very specific cases where it's more helpful for somebody, but I don't know if I don't buy it or spend money on it. I don't know.
I mean, I've been taking it more religiously since I started like really getting serious in CrossFit, just because like the fact that it helps with like decrease in muscle breakdown and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
what about
specific cases? Yes.
Have you looked at the baking soda thing? Is that real?
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's
take
real,
that shit, sodium bicarbonate.
Yeah, it's real, but it's like it just depends. Like if I take it, my stomach's gonna hurt, and I'm definitely not gonna want to go train. If Pool Boy, what's your name? Should I just keep calling you Pool Boy, or
most people do? But my real name's Mike.
Mike.
I go back and forth. Yeah.
Mike might take it and it has no effect, and his guts like her stomach's like whatever. To
me,
like I have baking soda bubbling in my stomach.
Well, what's interesting is I would take it and I would like immediately have to go shit myself. Like afterwards.
I pooped my pants on a bar myself.
but now that I've been taking it more like for a longer period, I don't get that sensation necessarily anymore.
Okay.
But my only concern is like, is there a specific dosage that I should be taking?
Yeah, I think you can look it up.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
I know
like
Michael Ban, a coach who did a lot of research on it.
Because I'll only do like 3 or 4 like half teaspoon scoops. And that's I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not much. Yeah, that's probably pretty close. You like just mix it with a little bit of water and then just chug it or something.
Dude, I have to like dry mouth it because it's so bad
Bro,
tasting.
it's so horrible.
It's so horrible. If you mix it in like a bottle of like water, it just it's.
Oh yeah, I meant like just a little bit,
Yeah.
I mix it in water and it's terrible. Horrible.
Okay, I'm seeing maybe possibly half a teaspoon.
Hey, what happened to you? I was looking you up.
Huh?
So yeah, you did pretty good. You're like 1,000 something place, which is, I mean, Pool Boy's fairly up there, but hey, 1,000th in the world's great. What happened during? I'm looking at your 20 for the Open. I just.
I did. I was.
Did you get injured on the last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not on it.
I see that
leading up to it, and the first one, I don't even remember the workout. The burpee one. Like I did it, and it just didn't
Yeah.
feel good. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
but it was, it wasn't hurting like it was, hurting all day. And, it just was hurting during certain movements and I couldn't
Yeah.
progress it. So I did the second one, did okay. And then, by the time I got
And
to the
then
third
this
one, the
last
pain
one,
was so bad. I
the
just didn't do
thrusters.
it.
Yeah. What, did you just
Yeah,
drop the
but
bar and you couldn't do it?
No. I was done, but I had my wife and my friends were like, yeah, you just do 11 reps or whatever what the minimum amount was. Because I was done. I was like, packed it up. I'm ready to stop. And then, so I did them.
Yeah.
So it would keep me in quarterfinals in case I, miraculously healed and I wanted to do it, but I didn't.
Hey, I have another follow-up question on sodium bicarbonate. What's the difference between sodium bicarbonate and calcium carbonate?
Oh, I'm not 100%
Wait.
sure. I know, again, Michael Ban, he's a great person to follow on Instagram for
That's
stuff
freaking
like that.
I think that's Tums, isn't it? It's free.
Well, see, like I take straight sodium bicarbonate, but I
think that's what it was when the research I saw.
But I've also been taking X Endurance, their product Extreme Endurance, and they use calcium carbonate, magnesium, black pepper fruit, all that shit.
I'm sure that's the reason, is to help, whatever it's doing, buffer. I don't know. I don't know what they're even claiming, but I do know there's like good.
The black pepper is just like a potentiator, right? Usually.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of stuff with black pepper and
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's probably, again, so minimal, but maybe if it's an extract, it could help. I don't know. If you're noticing, good results and it's making you feel better, take it. And if there's no harm in it, but I know they have like a proprietary blend or something, right? So like there's some stuff that you don't know that's in there. I'm sure it's not a bad substance, but I'm just saying, like,
no, you just never know the dosage.
Yeah. It just seems a little weird.
Dang. So you don't know what your dosage is when you do it? You don't know like the exact milligrams of or close to it?
Well, anytime you see like proprietary blend, it's most of the time I always kind of like, it brings up red flags for me, because it's like, sure, maybe if you are using like an ingredient that's actually legit, I have no idea how much of it is actually in the product, and you could just be bullshitting me.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, they can say like it's not just amounts, but there's some substances that you can put in the proprietary blend that you don't even have to list, right? So there could be like a whole other chemical in there you didn't know was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that's
dude.
what it meant.
That's crazy. Well, my family's sick, so I gotta make sure that they are good, help out with that. But what we're gonna do, I think I'm gonna switch up to Hiller weekend review. That way, if he drops 3 videos like he did this week and 2 lives, I think I just can't keep up with that. And I want to be able to do my other podcasts, have athletes on and whatever it is that I do. So
better.
Yeah, way better. So that is not me quitting. I did not break. I am still doing Hiller and review. We're just going to, which brings up, by the way, the LMNT. I didn't want to do that one because he made it entertaining, but I don't care.
Yeah, it's you just could be the Hiller Gazette, just like a weekly news report. So if people are confused, they'll just go to your show.
That's right. There you go. Right. So but go watch it. Everybody go watch. Oh gosh, darn it. Yeah.
Okay. This one's okay. So this meta-analysis said that research indicates that 10 to 30% of dietary supplements may contain prohibited substances. But that's not the one I saw. I saw it was higher. But I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
God, I'm so curious about like brands.
Yeah,
it was.
I'm gonna guess like fucking all. Who's the like? I'm gonna guess Evogen, All Max, BSN. I'm trying to
like Gold Standard or
all the.
You guys remember like GNC back in like 2004? They were just selling pro hormones and people were getting like gyno all over and stuff. I knew people.
Yeah, I had a family member that happened to. And he had to get surgery when he was like, right after high school or maybe in high school, just because it got so bad. And it was just sold over the counter, and it was told that it was safe. It's not steroids. Like it was a huge scam.
But it messed with your hormones.
It's way more dangerous. Yeah, I think
it's bad.
I think they're just illegal in general, and it's just like you would be made if you go on Reddit and you're like, should I take a pro hormone on some of these threads? They would bully you.
Yeah, and you had the Mark McGuire stuff too. I can't remember what that was, but.
What's the difference between a pro hormone and like growth? Is it pretty much like growth hormone? You're taking growth hormone?
It's a precursor to the hormone.
to like it's more like a steroid, but like it acts very similarly, but the side effects it's less effective than a steroid, and the side effects are 100% worse.
That's
so
crazy.
It just didn't make sense.
Kind of like SARMs is starting to
Yeah.
seem like, maybe not all of them, but SARMs were originally marketed as being like steroids without any of the side effects, and that's simply not true. They also will cause your testosterone to crash.
Yeah, so
What's
it doesn't have other side effects. So it's selective androgen receptor modulators, so the androgen receptors. So it acts similar to the steroid, where it goes into the body and attaches to those receptors and makes you grow. The problem with the steroid is it grows everything. It attaches to any receptor, not just androgen. So it's going to attach to your heart, and make your heart grow. That's where an issue is.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, well, we're giving steroids to cancer patients and people with muscle wasting disease and geriatrics that need to recover from a surgery, but it's going to put them at risk for blood pressure and heart attack and all these major issues with other things growing. So they're like, well, we'll create these that will help the cancer patients. So that's why they were developed. And then people were like, wait,
yeah,
things are steroids without making my heart grow. But it just turned into a very weak steroid. That's why most people don't take them, is like they're just so weak and they still shut you down. So it's like, am I going to take testosterone and this terrible, SARM, or am I going to take testosterone and, something that's going to make me look
and
like
that's the thing about TRT, and that's why I went through this experimental phase like 3 years ago or whatnot. But you can do whatever you want and get away with it because you don't get shut down. You have a constant flow of exogenous testosterone. So the only SARM I ever did though was Ostrine, and I didn't feel anything. It's supposed to be one of the weaker ones. But Anavar was originally for burn patients, wasn't it? I think.
They give that one still prescribed a good bit, or I think a good bit more, because it's just so much more tolerable. But yeah, I'd say you burn, cancer, muscle wasting. There's probably other, if someone decided, probably for just low muscle mass for some people, if a doctor is willing to risk their license, they're just like, yeah, take it.
Even if you can get it prescribed, it is so stupid. I was talking about earlier how I've been prescribed Anavar and Winstrol during COVID. If you go to a TRT clinic, there are certain ones they'll just prescribe you anything, right? And so I got prescribed that stuff because they are pharmaceutical drugs, and they're not black market. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Even if you are on TRT and it doesn't mess you up, because it didn't mess me up. I wasn't even like working hard. I was doing CrossFit like 3 or 4 times a week for 50 minutes. It didn't do a whole lot. So it's just
I have
stupid.
I have a buddy on TRT, and he's still really fat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was like, I've posted pictures before when I was 250 pounds. I've been on TRT for a good amount of time at that point, and I just ate horrible, and I was still fat. Now there was some muscle under there because I was lifting in my garage heavy. But the best shape that I was in was on a low dose of TRT, which is eventually where I settled until I found out that it was affecting fertility. And at the beginning of the year, I got off completely, and now I feel like trash. So that's the backstory on that. But
so they didn't do a PCT cycle or anything?
No, they did. I did Clomid. I swear, dude, Clomid might have made me feel worse. On Reddit, it's like 50-50.
Yeah,
it was brutal.
Well, like suicidal, side effects, like people get really down, and
it was bad. I don't know if it was from the only reason I didn't stop is I was afraid that the only reason I didn't say I'm not doing this for the 2 months period of time that they want me to, whatever, is because I wasn't sure if it was actually going to be worse. If this was just from coming off of TRT, I don't think that it was. I think I was having side effects from the Clomid or whatever. So
are your test levels returning well?
I haven't got the test levels done. If we go by feelsies, absolutely not. Every workout, this is the craziest thing. My sperm levels, which was the goal, are back up. They're like totally normal again.
I bet your testosterone probably followed. I mean,
you've never taken like
makes sense.
You've never taken like you've never taken like D-aspartic acid or any of that shit?
Dude, my testosterone was like 200 even. And the reason was because I did so many opiates for like 9 years straight. It just totally, well, I'll get it tested. It's not expensive. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll know in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, Yeah, sleep
that
is
would
going to be.
that
I
would be
mean,
interesting.
obviously prior issues in life, those definitely affect
Yeah.
it. But sleep, food, and training. But sleep number one. I mean, you can cut test levels in half with just keeping people awake for
Biggest
12
thing I've
hours
noticed.
or I guess like 18 hours.
So I could get away with it. It's kind of funny how subtle it is. Like when you're on it, you don't really notice all these things. What I noticed the most was getting off of it. If I got 5 hours of sleep compared to 7, 8 hours of sleep, it was like I was wrecked. In certain workouts, I could do 6 high intensity. I'm talking like going as hard as I would if it were the open, which for me is my fun time of the year. I could do that 6 times a week and be totally fine. If I did that now, I can't do that now. So I don't have the same training capacity. And
How
and
much are you sleeping?
7 hours. I could do more, I'm sure, but it's not horrible. Pool boys like 9 hours a night. We were talking about this the other day. They say 8 to 9, I guess, right? 8.
It depends on age, and yeah, there are some genetic factors to it, but 7's low, 6 is really low.
Yeah.
Pussy. Sleep more.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. I'll have to see how I feel. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, dude. You ever listen to like Matthew Walker? Like, and he's like, yeah, dude, it's fucking.
I read his
man.
book, and his
Nuts.
Rogan podcast was great. Which, if you don't want to read the book, just watch both of Rogan's podcasts with him, and it's basically him just
amazing.
reading
it. I think I know who you're talking about. Which one is that guy? Because I want to.
So he's at a Cal Berkeley, right? Neuroscientist and he specializes in sleep or something like that.
Yeah, why we sleep is the book. It's good.
And he talks about how like men who average 5 or less hours of sleep a night, you can like significantly measure their testicles and like it's significantly smaller than those who average 5 or more. And it
There's
ages
a lot,
it ages men like by a decade. It's crazy.
It's great. Yeah, you will definitely, if you watch the first podcast he did with Rogan, just make sure it's the first one because I think that one was better. It will, some of the numbers he'll say, it will shock you. Like it'll put you in check.
All right. Well, that'll be my homework then.
Yeah, go to bed.
Like you'll straight up skip a workout. You'll just be like,
I need to go to sleep. But it's even more fascinating though, because he talks about like the science behind what your brain does when it falls asleep. And he talks about like shit as in why do you have these insane irrational dreams where like you can float in space and stuff, but it has a lot to do with your brain. Actually, the portion of your frontal lobe that controls rational thinking completely shuts off when you sleep. It completely shuts off when you sleep. So that's why you just have these out of these fucking world irrational dreams.
He gave some really good like explanations to why a lot of that was happening or could be happening. And then it's funny, he's like, well, the rest of it we have no idea. Like we don't know why we even need to sleep really.
It's crazy.
We just know that we have to.
Can you guys run fast in your dreams, or is it always like there's cement attached to your feet?
No, I always feel like I have cement attached to my feet.
Me too.
And I've had always this irrational fear of like losing my teeth in my dreams.
Oh, that's crazy.
The teeth is big for me. I've knocked them out a few times. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I fall off the same cliff in my car like every 3 months in my dreams. Gosh, it's weird, man.
And this is crazy, but like I still will probably have 1 or 2 wet dreams every like three months or something. I still get them.
That's nuts.
I still get them.
That's great though. That's probably great for your I mean, you're probably naturally.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time I wake up from one, I'm like, fuck yeah, my testosterone's still going.
Yeah, it's like good shit.
But then I get like but it's always I wake up in like 3 a.m. and like I'm just too lazy to clean my sheets. And so I just let it crust and just go back to sleep.
That is so graphic. And on that note, we are going to end the show. Hey guys, thanks for coming on. I hope we can all do it again. Roman, last minute, I really appreciate it. What is that? Is that awesome. Are you advertising? What are you advertising, Pool Boy?
No, I was about to take a drink of my.
It's a glass spade
of my health aid.
I thought you had like
a trial
pool boy supplements, everyone. All right, awesome guys. Can't wait until the next one. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Give me $1.99, Philip Kelly. You don't type it, you send it to me. All right, see you guys later. Appreciate everyone who was here.
Bye-bye.